Hello my friends, I am the Dungeon Tutor. Welcome! Today I'm doing a video for RPGaDay, which I've been continuing on through August. It's a fantastic opportunity to put out content that promotes positive thought among gamers. And today we are asked to talk about an excellent NPC. Now, I think, myself, that my NPCs are generally pretty excellent because, well, I put a lot of myself into them. I love making a voice. I love, taking advantage of the situation, playing them as intelligent folk who interact with the players. But there's one character that I loved, mostly because the players, until the end of the campaign, never knew how to take him. Which was hilarious, because it kind of portrayed the fact that the players themselves are highly prejudicial, and sometimes have a really hard time getting around that. The game was Werewolf the Apocalypse, and this was a long time ago. We were playing it, oh boy, I think I might have still been back in my 20s. That was a long time ago. And this was an apocalypse setting. This is before the Apocalypse campaign ender came out from Werewolf, where they were going to end the World of Darkness and start Chronicles of Darkness. But for this one, there was a character that I had. A lot of the characters were played pretty much straight up to meet the players' expectations. They had to meet Silent Striders, who were mysterious and weren't going to give them all the information, but generally were fairly helpful to them. They had to meet Silver Fangs, who were pompous and haughty and dismissive of the group until they proved themselves, so on and so forth. They were frustrated frequently because, they had to start from the bottom and work their way up, but eventually they got some notoriety. And in the end, they had a major impact on the apocalypse-type setting, which was cool. However, along the way, they met somebody. The person from the tribe of the Shadow Lords they met the most was a man named Ramir Rathcliffe, who they ended up nicknaming Ratcliffe, because Shadow Lords have a reputation. Shadow Lords are schemers, they are plotters, they lust for power, and in general, they're people you don't turn your back on, because if they have any chance of bettering themselves by plunging a knife into your back, they'll do it. There's any number of examples that are given throughout the werewolf storylines of self-serving or even maybe tribe serving, but these scheming Shadow Lords. So they met Rathcliffe, and he legitimately helped them. The first time they met him, he helped them. And they were like, ew, he's a Shadow Lord. Oh, I bet that's got fish hooks in that help. Okay, I guess we have to deal with him. And Rathcliffe was like, hey, I know you guys are just starting out. I see you having a lot of potential. I don't mind helping you, because I feel in the future you'll be able to help me when I need it. And they're like, I obligated to a slime ball. But he wasn't slimy. At no point was he a hand-wringing, mustache-twirling villain. He was a guru of the guru. He was a werewolf, but he was legitimately interested in the goals that the party shared. He wanted to keep the cairn safe, for instance. He wasn't looking to claim power from people that he thought were worthy of it. And for the most part, he didn't have any problems with the folks who were in the cairn. He didn't want to be the new sept leader. He didn't want to control anything more than use his own resources and abilities to do his part. And I didn't run him under the nose of the party all that often. There was one time he did a Deus Ex Machina, only once. But most of the other times, the players were constantly on edge with him. They're always like, what is his angle? And I heard this too. What is his angle? What is he really shooting for? The thing is, they never really investigated him. Like, down to the the last digits on his tax forms. They didn't do that. They didn't really have the resources to do that, honestly. But they really, as a group, really hated him because he was a Shadow Lord. And that's the only reason they hated him. He did nothing but help them, did nothing but show them a decent amount of respect. He chided them one time when they screwed up. They broke the veil at one point. They got chewed out for it. But they always had tons of glory to dump on top of that because we were fighting against the worm and doing all kinds of good stuff. So it wasn't that drastic, but, you know, he's like, you know, you probably should use different tactics than what you did there. And they're like, shut up, shut up, shut up. Can we just throw at him and be done with it? But I enjoyed Ratcliffe. To this day, I can still talk to some of the players about him, and they'd be like, yeah, we remember that guy. Yeah, we never trusted him, but he turned out to be a really good guy at the end. And he did. He was a good guy throughout. But they only really respected that at the very end of it, when he clearly turned the tables and basically sold out his own tribe, who were doing nonsense stuff, and he would have no part of it because he was honorable. He was a good guy. So I do remember Ratcliffe. He was definitely one of my favorites because every time I'd come to the table and I knew Ratcliffe was going to be a part of it, I knew my players' tension level was going to spike because they were waiting for the shoe to drop. They waited all the way till the end of the campaign until finally it became clear there was no shoe to drop. He was always a nice guy, and he always did like and respect them. But the only thing he ever asked them to do basically served what they were doing anyhow. So it was cool. Anyhow, that's on the list of so many NPCs that I've had over the years, and some that I've really loved. In a vampire campaign, I had an NPC named Mad Jack, who bedeviled my players. They hated him. He was a Ventru. If you know anything about vampire, they're the kind of the ruling clan of the vampires. But he was driven mad because he got into a close encounter with a very powerful Malkavian, who are the mad vampires and have the ability to bestow their madness to others. And for him, it's permanent. So he permanently thinks he's the Prince of Venice. When he's not. He's a renegade. But he's potent enough that nobody really messes with him. And he picks out his scions and tries to help them, which often leads to complications and problems, which is what the group experienced. And they hated that guy. But I had fun with him. Mad Jack was just brilliant. For me. My players still remember him, though. Again, very memorable. So, and it goes on and on and on. I mean, I enjoyed using Mordenkainen in the Prince of the Apocalypse campaign. It was fun letting him be a powerful thinker type wizard in very bad situations. The party got to appreciate when, say, he burned out his ability to use a wish, trying to save the group and the world from old Hydra, the princess of elemental water, to destroying the world. And he got messed up, but you know, it was a great campaign. It was a good bit of fun for that. God, just on and on and on. I'm plagued by all of these characters that I've enjoyed tremendously. The other one, I guess I could say, which is fun, is Alphinius Goo, because Alphinius is the figurehead for GUI Cube. And is the alter ego of my friend Kim, who, again, he runs GUI Cube, but Alphinius is just such a pervasive, delightful character that he's caught the imaginations of so many people. And, of course, he is purely excitement and wonder and magic. And you will all enjoy it. Yes, you will all enjoy your time with Alphinius Goo. And he stays in character so well that sometimes I only call him Alphinius. I almost never call him Kim. His character, Alphinius, is in his world of Zayathe, a very notable character, currently running for mayor of Darkenhaven, a major city in that world. As is my character, Zixgram Moose. I'm running against him, so. Weird world. But Alphinius is this kind of a mad wizard. A nice, loyal, loving husband, all these good things. But he can be anything, really. So when Kim asked me to write an adventure for them, he let me write in Alphinius Goo and have it in his house, in his basement. And it's called A Strangely Gooey Holiday. It's available at gooeycube.com if you're interested. It's a fun little holiday adventure. And full handouts. It's got all the Gooey Cube trappings. It's got a character. Character portraits for Alphinius, myself, Zixgram Moose. He told me to write myself into it, so I make a cameo. So yes, you could get a picture of me as Zixgram Moose if you get that adventure. Still, I still just chuckle thinking about it. But yes, he made a fine character to put into that adventure. And now every time I run it, I get to roleplay as Alphinius. Oh, yes, my friends. You will enjoy this. You will come into my basement, and you will clear out the things that bedevil me, so that I may have my winter's dance ornaments as Ms. Goo wants, which will be helping me out tremendously. And you will be rewarded! Ha-ha! I sometimes do a really good Alphinius impression, but I got the thrust of it. So, at any rate, wonderful character, a fantastic character, a better friend, but a good character, and something that I absolutely loved putting into my very first adventure I got published. It was a real pleasure, and he is, of course, a master character to throw in at anything. Anytime you need an eccentric wizard, you could do a lot worse than to have Alphinius. So, that's my answer to this question. I hope you've enjoyed them. And I hope that you enjoyed it so much that you come back and see more of my videos. That would be wonderful. To help you, feel free to subscribe and notify yourself for my future videos. And if you feel like liking the video, I'd appreciate it. It makes me feel better. If you have yourself any characters that you'd love to talk about, and I know you do, feel free to describe them in the comments. We all could use a great inspirational character to think of. I would really love to read your stuff, and you have full permission to be as long and as detailed as you want. I won't mind. But more than anything, I do hope to see you in another video, because I can see you. Oh yes, I can look right out and there you are. Yes, I've been watching you the whole time. So think about that. But in that next video, I hope that between the time then and now that you, yes you, get a chance to roll some dice, to play some games, to have some fun, but stay safe out there, my friends. Until then, next time, farewell.